Hi, this is Professor Wendell, and here is a presentation about the case brief, learning to read and brief a case. What is a case brief? Well, as you know, the art of taking notes on court decisions has been refined over the years into a widely accepted technique called briefing. This serves as both an efficient means of recording notes and as an additional analytical tool. Now remember that the term briefing does have several meanings, and it also can mean an appellate brief, which again is a formal written argument to an appellate court in which a lawyer argues why the court should affirm or reverse a lower court's decision. But what we're talking about here is how you can read legal cases and how you can take notes in a case brief method. It's going to seem difficult to learn this. It's going to seem time consuming. You're going to think it's unnecessary, and you'll be tempted to avoid learning and doing it. But trust me, practice makes perfect. Briefing is a technique you can master with practice. You'll develop your own style, and in fact, every lawyer has their own style, and ultimately your briefs will become shorter. In the beginning, they may seem like small books, and the real misnomer here of brief is that sometimes your actual brief of a case will be longer than the case itself, but that's normal and that's part of learning. My first tip is that before you begin to brief anything, you read the case all the way through before you even begin to start a brief. And I'm going to go through the parts of the brief right now in detail. The first part of a brief is the case citation. And this is, what are you going to see in the case citation? You're going to see the name of the case, the parties involved. You're going to see the published sources where the case can be found. So if you're going to the library and want to pull out the book and find the actual case in its entirety, the case citation will tell you where to look. It will tell you which court issued the decision, and it will tell you the year the decision was issued. And that's the case citation. The second part of a brief is the procedural posture. This is the history of the case, discussion of where the case was and how it ended up before the appellate court, which is the court whose written decision you're now reading. So you'll see something in there like the defendant's motion to dismiss was granted, the plaintiff appeals, there was a judgment for the plaintiff, the defendant appeals. That's the procedural posture. Versus the substantive posture, or what I like to call the statement of the facts. This is a brief outline summary of the facts that seem significant to the court.